Hello everyone, with Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video northern across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Tuesday night, July 30, 2024. Now before we jump into it, I must apologize for the lack of posts being made on our YouTube page, on our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Threads, TikTok pages. I've actually been traveling for the past 48 hours, that's the past 2 days. And I'm currently at my destination in the United States, staying with family for vacation. But I'll definitely be here to keep you posted. It's just that the traveling with the plane and whatnot for the past 2 days have been quite hectic. But I'll definitely be here to keep you posted throughout the month of August. Although I'll be here in the month of August, I'll be back in Jamaica around the second week of September. So don't worry about anything. The updates will definitely still be coming in for sure. Alright, so before we jump into it some more, ensure that you all like this video. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video, and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems, so we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below, let me know what that's been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any other related question that you might have about the future other than your specific area. Alright, so before we even jump into what the Hurricane Center is showing on their 7-day tropical outlook, let's take a look at what this tweet from Andy Hazelton is saying. He's actually a meteorologist at the NOAA, so he works at the National Hurricane Center. And he stated, huge differences between GFS or Euro for the wave about to move into the Caribbean. By the way, this post was made at 5:41 p.m. today. Euro develops mid-level vort along the northeast end of the wave axis. Dynamically makes sense. GFS seems to form something from terrain effects. Can happen, but seems more random and goes into the Gulf. And this is what he's referring to. So the Euro model has the system taking more of a northern track, as we can see here by these images. We can see the system represented by the yellows and the oranges that represent some kind of energy in the upper levels of the atmosphere. And keep in mind that this is valid for 12Z on Friday, which is actually 7 a.m. on Friday. And for reference, we have Jamaica right here, possibly getting in on some of the energy, as we can see some of the yellows, and that could include some amount of rainfall. But there is a problem, as the GFS model is showing something different. Let's take a look at what the GFS is showing. So we start to see the differences here. So the Euro was more off towards the north of Hispaniola, affecting portions of the southern Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos. But look at where the GFS has the system, more so between Jamaica, Haiti, and Cuba for the same time period. That's 12Z on Friday, which is actually 7 a.m. on Friday. But according to his tweet, he's basically stating that what the Euro is showing is making more sense. Either way, we can't let our guard down. We have to stay updated. Even although the Hurricane Center is more in favor of what the Euro is showing more of the system pushing towards the west-northwest to the north of the Caribbean islands, and then possibly affecting portions of the Bahamas, Florida, maybe the southeastern United States coast. It currently has a 60% chance of cyclone formation, and according to the Hurricane Center, they stated a large tropical wave centered a few hundred miles east of the Lesser Antilles is producing some shower and thunderstorm activity. While development has been slow to occur due to dry air, environmental conditions are forecast to gradually become more conducive over the warmer waters of the southwestern Atlantic Ocean, and a tropical depression could form late this week while the system is in the vicinity of the Greater Antilles or the Bahamas. Interest in the Greater Antilles, the Bahamas, and the southeastern US should monitor the progress of this system. And we see that within the next 48 hours or the next 2 days, it has a 0% chance of forming, while within the next 7 days, a 60% chance. So not much has changed in terms of the probability, but the where. So remember, it was more highlighted across portions of the northern, Caribbean. So portions of the Greater Antilles, maybe Puerto Rico, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Jamaica. But we see that has now shifted more so towards the northwest to include portions of the Bahamas and the southeastern portion of the United States. Either way, we still can't let our guard down. If you remember, back in 2021, we had Tropical Storm Grace, and this system was forecast to move more so towards the north and miss Jamaica entirely. Look at this forecast map showing the system possibly raking portions of the Lesser Antilles, that's the Leeward Islands, and portions of the Dominican Republic, Haiti, maybe Cuba, and head into the Bahamas. But look at exactly what happened. Grace actually made landfall in Jamaica instead. So we know sometimes these models are showing something along the lines of a crystal ball of what should be happening, but it's not always the case in terms of what actually happens. So we have to stay tuned to see exactly what occurs. As of right now, the Hurricane Center is going with more of the track with what the Euro is showing, and we saw what the GFS was showing according to Andy Hazelton. So we don't even have to look at the supercomputer models ourselves, as Andy did it for us. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see that we have a ridge of high pressure right here across the northern portion of North Atlantic that we know is responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. We can see Jamaica right here. We can see some broken orange lines right here associated with the trough affecting portions of Florida, a tropical wave right here to the east of the Lesser Antilles, a trough right here equidistant from Africa and the Lesser Antilles, and another tropical wave right here to the southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. If we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can see the clouds associated with the trough. We can see the clouds associated with that tropical wave. And by the way, this is the very same tropical wave that's expected to bring some amount of moisture and push towards the west northwest. We can also see the other tropical wave right here to the southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands, and numerous clouds right here squashed to the south of the main development region associated with the intertropical convergence zone. We know the intertropical convergence zone is where the air from the northern hemisphere meets the air from the southern hemisphere, and we have clouds, showers, and thunderstorms bubbling up, and we can see that taking place as we speak. Elsewhere, the usual thunderstorm activity across northern and South America, portions of southern Central America getting in on the action as well. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on what took place across Jamaica today. So for the most part, yes, we still have that upper level trough of low pressure, still bringing those high level clouds across the island in a south to north fashion. So not much in the way of thunderstorm activity took place. However, we did indeed see some isolated thunder shower activity across especially western Jamaica and inland areas of some central parishes. Nothing drastic. Everywhere else was experiencing sunny if not partly cloudy skies, not to mention some warm temperatures. According to the Cuban Doppler radar images, unfortunately the images have still glitched out from the 26th of July at 12 p.m. That's crazy. Unfortunately, we can't even depend on our Doppler radar, because if we take a look at the Met Services website and go down to the bottom here and click radar imagery, they still have nothing to show, and we're about to wrap up July. I remember I spoke to Evan Thompson a couple months ago, and he stated that it should be up and running by July. Unfortunately, it seems like I'm going to have to contact him when I get back to Jamaica to find out what's happening. As a matter of fact, I think I have his WhatsApp. I'm going to contact him as soon as possible to see what's really going on, because still no Doppler radar to look at, and the hurricane season isn't over as yet, so there's a chance that we might get some more systems, God forbid. So we have to be using the Guantanamo Bay military radar, and unfortunately it only shows sections of Portland and eastern St. Thomas. Not seeing much of anything happening right now. Some isolated shores right there across portions of eastern Cuba's northeastern portion right there. Not much taking place across Haiti. Maybe some isolated shores right there between Haiti and Jamaica right there. Maybe Portland might be getting on some isolated shores as we speak. If we take a look at the Cayman radar, we can see some isolated shores right there to the southwest of Cuba. Some isolated shores right there to the west of Jamaica, to the south of the Cayman Islands. And if we take a look at the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, although these images are too soon, because we would have seen the isolated thundershower activity across sections of some western parishes, some central parishes as well. Unfortunately, those images weren't posted on our social media today because of the traveling at the time, so the post couldn't be made. But we definitely had some thunderstorms over there, and the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website confirms this, painting the picture that we had more of the thunderstorm activity across sections of some western parishes, especially inland areas, more so the cockpit country, and pushing westward to affect sections of Hanover and Westmoreland, maybe inland areas of some central parishes as well, including maybe northern St. Catherine, southern St. Anne, southern Trelawney, far northern Manchester, far northern St. Elizabeth as well. Elsewhere, experiencing sunny to partly cloudy skies, as we can see here on See Jamaica's YouTube channel. Most of the day was definitely sunny, as this is showing halfway through at around 3:49 p.m. By the way, if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just go over to their channel. They show the corporate area, Kingston, the city view, Crossroads, halfway through, Kingston Harbor, even the Boardwalk Gorge. And we definitely saw that it was more so of a sunny day, sunny to partly cloudy day across halfway through at that time. If we take a look at the live camera of Crossroads, not seeing much happening. Cars going about their business as of 11:49 p.m. Let's see, let's get it live. Yes, this is the live camera. Quite a busy halfway tree road right there, even at this time of night. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can still have 80 degrees Fahrenheit in both Montego Bay and Kingston. So this website is showing the temperatures in Fahrenheit because I'm in the United States. Either way, we can do the calculation ourselves. 80 degrees Fahrenheit is about the same as about 27 degrees Celsius, if I'm not mistaken. But by about 4 a.m. on Wednesday, temperature should dip down to about 79 degrees Fahrenheit in Montego Bay. That's about 25 degrees Celsius. While in Kingston, temperature should dip down to about 75 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about the same as 23 degrees Celsius. No, I'm mistaken. About 24 degrees Celsius right there. If we take a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is showing 18 on Wednesday. When we calculate that, that's about 1 p.m. on Wednesday. And we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some orange colors that we know represents up to 1 to 2 to even 3 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures, as we can see by the key on the right. So the day is definitely going to be warmer than normal if it's going to be 3 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. And we're in the month of July. We're in the hottest month of the year. Fortunately, we're going to be heading into August shortly, and it's a bit less in terms of the high temperature. We usually receive up to 91 degrees Fahrenheit during the month of July. So if we're going to be getting up to 3 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures for tomorrow, it should be anywhere from about, let's see, 91. When that's calculated, that's about 32.7 degrees Celsius when that's calculated. So anywhere from 32 to 35 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Wednesday. As it relates to the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Wednesday, we can see Jamaica right here for that time period. Not much in the way of Saharan dust at all, and we're grateful for that. So the skies are definitely going to be looking bluer. We can see the Saharan dust, however, across portions of the Eastern Caribbean as well as the waters of the main development region. And we know all of this is definitely pushing from east to west, all courtesy of the ridge of high pressure right there to the north of the main development region. So eventually the Saharan dust is going to be coming back. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can see that we still have not much change. Majority of the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico getting in on those lighter shades of blues to darker shades of blues that represent anywhere from 0.5 meter wave heights to 1.5 meter wave heights. Unfortunately, this website has changed its metric, showing the wave height in feet. You know the drill. America is just different. Fahrenheit instead of Celsius, feet for the wave height instead of meters that we use in Jamaica. So we see it right here, but we know what it represents, and we've been having this for the past couple of weeks. The usual purpose to the far south of Jamaica that represents up to 2 to 3 meter wave heights, and that's because the winds that we know are represented by the bluish colors, the greens that represents up to 20 knot winds, and the yellows that represent up to 25 to 30 knot winds right here. They're going to be strongest to the south of Jamaica, but we can see the general direction for the winds from the east across the Caribbean for Wednesday. But as it relates to the close-up of Jamaica, yes, the winds are coming in from the east, but look at where the winds are going to be piling up. Still going to be getting all of the air piling up across western Jamaica again. Who knows, maybe some inland areas or some central parishes getting in on the mix. And we know what usually happens. Those cumulus clouds become mid-level rain clouds, if not upper-level cumulonimbus clouds. And then we have some afternoon rainfall as usual. And we have that daytime heating, that diurnal convection. So get ready for that if you live out west. Something similar to what has been happening for the past month. And with the upper level winds coming in more so from the southwest, it could favor more of those high cold cloud tops being blown off towards the northeast. So this is what I'm referring to. If we look back at the latest infrared satellite images, we can see those upper level clouds being blown off towards the north. Tomorrow is going to be coming more so from the southwest. So if we get some thunderstorms, it could bring some of those high cold cloud tops across sections of the northern coastline of the island, bringing more overcast skies to those spots during the afternoon. If we actually take a look at the rainfall forecast now, so we're going to be looking for consensus with where the rainfall is expected and at what time. We don't see any rainfall for the morning hours, but for the afternoon at around 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time, we start to see the consensus that both the Euro and the GFS malls are showing some rainfall out west. We know the Euro can be showing more of that rainfall across central and eastern Jamaica too, but it makes sense that western Jamaica is going to be feeling the brunt of this afternoon rainfall, to include maybe sections of southwestern Trelawney, section of St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland, and sections of especially northern and western St. Elizabeth. We'll see exactly what unfolds. We'll see if the Euro actually wins, incorporating central and eastern Jamaica as well. We'll see how that goes. Remember, this is valid for 3 p.m. Jamaica time. And we can see even the accumulated precipitation forecast maps are showing something, even although there are some differences in terms of the amount of rainfall and where, making more sense for western Jamaica on both maps than anything else. Either way, we'll take it. We're still in the month of July. We're in the one of the dry seasons, as a matter of fact. We can see Jamaica's two cities being shown here. Kingston's bar graph at the top, Montego Bay's bar graph at the bottom. Kingston's bar graph showing rainfall in millimeters, that's up to 50 millimeters of rainfall during the month of July. Montego Bay's bar graph in inches, that's showing up to 3.2 inches of rainfall. By the way, you can do the math yourself because we know 1 inch of rainfall represents up to 25 millimeters of rainfall. And you can also visit weatherandclimate.com to find out what the annual rainfall is like for your specific parish. Alright, so that is it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as usual, the thunderstorm activity right there to the south affecting portions of Panama, Costa Rica, section of Central America getting in on the action as well, including Belize, Guatemala. We can also see some rainfall coming into portions of the Leeward Islands right there associated with the moisture from the tropical wave. And if we take a look right here at what's happening across the northeastern Caribbean, the latest image has a lot of rainfall, especially across portions of the waters to the north of Guadeloupe. So Antigua and Barbuda, St. Bart, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Martin. Some of the Virgin Islands getting on the weather as well. The US and British Virgin Islands, section of Puerto Rico definitely gotten on some of the action as well. As a matter of fact, if we put these images into motion from this evening at around 6:50, we saw that the rainfall was already coming in associated with the tropical wave, and it's definitely plaguing some of these areas. We know the greens represent some light to moderate rainfall, the yellows represent heavy rainfall. And if we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can see most of the rainfall right there dancing to the north of Barbados. Some of this rainfall could definitely make it onshore tonight. You can also see some of the rainfall to the south of Barbados affecting portions of Grenada. Some of the rainfall right now affecting sections of Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia getting in on the mix. And if we take a look at the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see some rainfall as we speak across sections of western Florida, or it could have been earlier today when we had the thunderstorms. You can also see that rainfall that Cuba had. Not much taking place right now because most of the thunderstorms have died down across most of the years. But we do see where portions of Belize gotten on the rainfall, sections of the waters to the east of Nicaragua as well. And as relates to the rainfall forecast for the next 24 hours, keep in mind that both of these maps from the Euro and the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until what this is about, if I'm not mistaken. This should be 9Z on Thursday. When calculated, that is about 4 a.m. on Wednesday. Well, 4 a.m. on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So up to Wednesday night in general, this is all the rainfall that's expected within the next 24 hours. And we can see that there's definitely some consensus, there's agreement on both the Euro and the GFS models with where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours. And we're going to be marking them right here. So definitely those areas that are already getting in on the rainfall. So the US and British Virgin Islands, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, sections of St. Martin, St. Kitts and Nevis, sections of Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, Guadeloupe, Martinique. We can also see some rainfall in store for sections of Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Venezuela, sections of Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, Belize, sections of Guatemala, if I didn't say that yet, Costa Rica, Panama, sections of the Cayman Islands, Cuba, and even sections of the Bahamas and Florida getting in on the mix. And we know that when both maps from the Euro and the GFS are in consensus like this, the chances of actually happening are much higher. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.